Well. We got a Nancy Benet Ramsey update. Spoiler, she still has not been found. We have a Blake and Ryan update because they're Hollywood's hottest couple right now. Say what? The YouTubers are getting called out, and we have a breaking news story that is just going to knock your socks off. I hope you're ready for it. Let's dive in. This is No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. Hello and good morning, everybody. It is a Monday morning. It is Monday, March 9th, and I'm here to deliver all of, Debbie says, but I'm not wearing socks. That's because the story probably already blew you off. Oh no, that's right. Booty, rocking everywhere. I found you, Miss New Booty. Bring it back to me. Hit the Players Club. About a month or two, I found you, Miss New Booty. Hi guys, welcome on in. Welcome on. Wait, first of all, a few things that we just need to get off the chest today. I had a very viral moment over the weekend, and I was very proud of it. Despite some hoes that wanted to come up in my mentions, in my ats. But I needed to flex on this moment because I was so proud of what an accomplishment I had achieved here. I need to share this with you because my ex account was popping over the weekend. Look at this. I posted this side by side. Well, first of all, I actually posted this very funny meme, and I said politics in 2026 be like, and it's that dress. Do you guys remember the trend with the dress where it was like gold and white, or some people saw it as like blue and black, and people like, it's blue and black, and other people like, no, it's gold and white. And so it was just, and I was just like, that's how politics is. We're literally looking at the same damn dress, and everybody has a very different idea on what they think that dress is. So that was very funny, I know. But then I posted this, and I said a lot can change in 5 years, because there's this photo of me where I was blonde, and it's on the left, and this was, I believe, 2021, and then there's me on the right, and so this is like 5 years later, and so I'm just like, damn, look at that. First of all, you can see the definition of my arms. You can see like my face has changed. My hair is obviously back to my natural hair color. Like I was just looking cute and popping, and I didn't realize like people were eating this up on X. Look at all the people. Oh man, this was really funny. Lauren, my friend Lauren 90, Lethal Lauren, Court of Random Opinion on YouTube. I need to talk to her about all these different handles because it's like too much to keep up with, Lauren. Like we needed to streamline your brand. But so Lauren posted and she said, I'm a little disappointed that you stopped being a lesbian. And she's very true, but she didn't even know like this. I was more lesbian than this. And then I showed her this photo of me in high school. And I said, this was me in high school at my peak lesbianism. And it is, look at me. That's at top tier peak lesbianism. And then she said, is that you then, or is that me now? And it was just LOLs, right? And so like, what a fun time. Like, look at this trajectory. Look at the number of people. Oh yeah, and then there were stupid hoes like this one who's just like, you need chapstick and stop using that crazy face filter. You can tell by the cheeks that you blurred the shit out of yourself. And you know what? I did. If we want to examine these photos, I did blur the shit out of my face here because I used to have really crazy under eye circles. Okay. Really, really crazy, really intense under eye circles. And so you can, if you look under my eyes, like they're kind of like dark. And it's because my face was very hollow. And then I think it was around 2022. So a year after this, I started getting filler put in under my eyes so that my face was fuller and it wasn't as sunken in. So the filler and the Botox definitely changed my face. Okay. And like, yeah, I did do a lot of skin blurring. And to be honest with you, I don't have any filters on here. I don't know if it's a StreamYard thing or the camera that I'm using. Like, yes, there's lots of lighting all around me, very heavy lighting on me on here. And yes, I do wear a tinted SPF, but like, I do wear a tinted SPF. I do a little fill of the stash, the brows. But so this was me. And so, yes, I used to, but here, I mean, you can even see the texture of my skin here. But then he was like, and your face is, your lips are chapped. And I was like, yes, I do have chronically chapped lips. And then somebody, well, I love that he's even following me. But somebody recommended doing Aquaphor. And I remember when I first got my tattoo, I did get Aquaphor. And I don't know why I'm giving this Lucy this much attention, but like then other people started saying like similar stuff like that. They're like, stop using so many filters and blah 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 blah. And I was like, I don't even really use filters that often. I used to before. I used to use a lot of filters, but like even if I want to use a little Paris filter on an Instagram story, like so what? Let me live my life, okay? Just because you feel insecure behind your little phone screen with your chubby little fingers and you want to type something, like back up off me, ho, you know? But anyway, so many people said so many nice things and I was like, that's very nice. I appreciate that. So I just needed to appreciate what? Getting a new hair color? No, this is my hair color, Margaret. Always got to be a boomer coming up in the chat. So yeah, what a time. What a fun time. I was just like, I had to appreciate that. Dizzy Lizzie says the blonde version, the 5 years ago version, the brunette version looks 1,000 times better. The blonde version is way too thin. Sorry, I really do not know who you are. Isn't that wild that like Dizzy Lizzie's like, I don't know who you are, but let me just talk about your look and let me just pick apart how you look. It's so weird, the internet sometimes. I'm so glad I've been on the internet for so many years. Like it doesn't really bother me as much anymore, but you always get these Lizzies and these Margarets that just come up in here. She's like, I don't even know who you are, but let me just pick apart your face. Dizzy Lizzie. She's got 4 rescue dogs and she's a cancer survivor, and that's great. And then she put God in her. She put Timothy 1:7. For God gave us spirit, not fear, but of power and love and self-control. Well, you know what? You better ask Timothy to help you gain a little self-control so that your chubby little fingers don't send mean tweets anymore, because it wasn't very nice, Lizzie. Wow. And then Anna joked. She thought she was funny. She's like, wow, I don't think I changed that much in 5 years. You know, Anna, I'm sure you look rocket. Who ungayed you? What a fun time. And there's one person they commented. Where is that? Was that one here? They're like, wow, you went from gay to gayer. And oh, yeah. From gay to more gay. And I said, well, certainly not less gay. Doesn't matter how many dicks you've sucked. After the first one, you're pretty gay. Richard with the Yeezus crew. Oh man, you guys, speaking of Yeezus, we'll get to the breaking news in just a second. But speaking of Yeezus, you have to see. I don't know if this is real or not real. It's from Hoops Crave, but I just thought it was so funny. I think it's probably fake, but they said Kanye West answered a question about wishing Kim the best. And he said, I can't wish her the best because the best, she would have ended up with me. And you're just like, oh, but doesn't it sound like something Kanye would say? Like that's a Kanye thing to say, you know? It's funny. Oh my goodness. Jonah says Christian people are usually the worst. I consider myself Christian people and I don't think I'm the worst, but I do get the point that you're trying to make. And I appreciate that you're trying to knock a hoe. Uh-oh. A&E says, get to the point. I am the point. You know what? I'm not in the mood for trolls today, okay? I'm having a very good Monday morning. We survived the time change. So A&E, you can SEE your way out of this live chat. You know what? I'm going to take my damn time. I'm going to take all the time I want to because this is my show. It's called No Filter with Zack Peter. And you know what? Today I want to. I'm going to take my time and I'm going to go real slow and maybe I just waste your entire morning. Okay. All of these people want to come in here and do their thing and say, you know what? That's fine. But I do have a very, very pressing breaking news story to share with you guys because this is riveting. This is journalism. This is probably going to be the next Brian Entin investigative story that we need to go along with. Okay. Are you guys ready? This was an exclusive published by your favorite publication, TMZ, who you know has been on top of the Nancy Benet Ramsey ransom letters. And it is, boom, dun dun, Donna Kelsey renovating her modest Florida home. And it's so funny because they have like the black and then the white text and then the big exclusive. And like everybody saw this at first and they thought Donna Kelsey died. And like, to be fair, it does kind of look like she died in this picture, right? Like this kind of looks like an obituary picture. This is Donna Kelsey. If you don't know her, she is the most iconic trader of all traders from the most recent season of The Traders. And she's iconic because she fumbled the ball so hard. And so being the most iconic of all traders ever, because she was the first ever secret trailer, and she completely failed that project. I think that all of that money, all those dollar bills that she made off of The Traders, she was able to do with this Florida renovation, which is just riveting. And so being that this was TMZ's biggest news story over the weekend, because obviously we're not going to talk about Harvey Levin being in the Epstein files, number one, and number two, we have no more love notes from Sheriff Harvey to Nancy Benet Ramsey's alleged old lady snatcher. Now we have Now we have Donna Kelsey, because this is just this is what TMZ is bringing to us. So here is the full scoop, because I know you're on the edge of your seat and you're like, what? I need to know everything. Give me all the details about Donna Kelsey and her renovation of her Orlando, Florida home. Okay. So just so you know, she has a home in Orlando, Florida, specifically Baldwin Park. Now, we have a Baldwin Park here in Los Angeles. It's actually kind of like right outside of Los Angeles. And like, you don't really want to be from Baldwin Park, but like, I guess it's a nicer part in Florida. So she purchased her home. I'm giving you, this is like, get out your handy dandy notebook, guys. You're going to want to like get all the juicy hot scoop. Okay. Property Brothers, get ready. This is an HGTV show coming soon. So she purchased the home back in 2019. Okay. This was pre-Taylor. Because when did Taylor and Travis start? Swifties, when did Taylor, or is that what we're calling them? Trailer? When did Taylor and Travis start dating? Imagine, are they the trailers? Trailer. We're Swifties for Trailer. 2019 is when they started dating. When she purchased the home. Okay, she purchased it for a whopping $355,000. Okay, $355,000. The home is 1,400 square feet. Okay, specifically 1434. If you were wondering, it is 1434. It has 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. This is a very small house, right? For like an old lady. It's not like Nancy Benet Ramsey's house. That was a big property for that old lady. By the way, nobody steal Donna Kelsey, okay? Well, see, when everybody was trying to say that Trump was out here and he stole Nancy Benet Ramsey because he wanted to make sure that like it was headline news that took away from the Epstein files, Donna Kelsey would have been a much bigger news story, okay? And not Nancy Guthrie. Okay, so she has her 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. It also comes with a den, a library, an office, and an exercise room. Wow, all for 1,400 square feet. That's kind of a lot, right? That's like, these have to be very small rooms. I wish we need photos. Like, can we is there a Zillow of Donna Kelsey's home? Like, now I'm invested. Okay. So it says, despite the Kelsey's fame, it's basically a normal middle-class Florida home. And so these are the renovations that TMZ got the exclusive details for. Are you ready? Okay. Are you seated, handy dandy notebook ready? Okay. She is replacing 9 windows. Did you get that? Make sure you write that down. She's replacing 6 exterior doors. It's a lot of doors. That is so many doors. Why does she have 6 exterior doors? The most you need is 3, unless you have the double flapper doors. Like, this seems like a very small square footage for this house. And then she is also upgrading her heat and humidity protection. So there you go. Just structural weatherproofing improvements, in case you were wondering. And then the deed for the home lists Travis and Jason. Those are the heirs to her estate in Orlando, Florida, specifically Baldwin Park. This is going to be their future. This is going to pay for their retirement one day when Donna is gone. This is the gold nugget that she is leaving behind for her children. It is groundbreaking, breaking news. So there you go. Oh, wait. ChatGPT even has a section on why she can afford it. Do you want to know why Donna Kelsey can afford to replace 9 windows and 6 exterior doors? Well, Some people online questioned where the money came from, but Donna Kelsey actually has several sources of income. Are you ready? According to Athlon Sports, she was a former banking executive / senior VP in commercial real estate finance. So she knows a fixer-upper worth investing in, which is what she's doing here. That's why she's replacing 9 of her windows and 6 of her exterior doors. Okay. She's also made many media appearances and endorsements after becoming famous as Mama Kelsey. That's her name, Mama Kelsey. And then she does TV appearances, including reality shows like The Traders. So there you go. And ChatGPT also notes that replacing doors and windows on a small house is not an unusually expensive renovation. So there you go. Why was this a story? Like, truly, what intern at TMZ was like, I got the exclusive, bitches getting new windows? Like, what? Why? What? Christina says she can afford it because her son has money. Yeah, listen, for her son having money, he can get her a bigger house. Oh man, slow news day. I mean, honestly, a slow news day for sure. It's just funny that this was like exclusive breaking news, and then they used like this photo of her. Which, poor thing. Like, how many people saw this and were like, "Oh my God, Donna Kelsey died." Oh man. Tamara says, I'm a new fan. Just found you through Nancy Guthrie saga, and I just have to say I love you. Thank you. I love you too. As Kamala Harris would say in her Mexican accent, I love you back. Stop using ChatGPT. It's killing our wildlife. What? When did ChatGPT start killing our wildlife? How is ChatGPT killing our... Now I'm invested. Should I ask ChatGPT, how are you killing our... Let's ask ChatGPT. Let's see. Let's go straight to the source, straight to the horse's mouth. Hey, chat. I just learned how to chat GPT, and I still call it chat GBT, not chat GPT, because that just sounds weird. Hey, chat GPT, are you killing wildlife? Let's see what chat GPT, what we've got here. Let's see. Come on, chat. Speak for yourself. ChatGPT says, no, I'm not killing wildlife. I'm just a software program that generates text responses. I don't have the ability to harm anyone, control people, or interact with the physical world. I can't influence someone's safety or health in the real life. If you're referring to a specific person, creator, account, or online rumor, feel free to tell me more about what you're hearing, and I can explain what's going on and clear up misinformation. Thank you, chat. We appreciate you. So there we go. Who is pissing off Zack today? Everybody. You know who's really pissed me off? We're gonna get to that in a second, okay? I know that I've been having a secret made up love affair with Brian Entin, but I have a bone to pick with Brian Entin today, okay? I have a very strong bone, and it is not a boner. It is a bone that I have to pick based off of some statements that he made on the interwebs about YouTubers, okay? I have a bone to pick. I'm still a Brian Entin fan. Am I a Nikki fan? Pull up in the Sri Lanka. But I do have a bone to pick with him. Okay. And we are going to pick that bone. But before we do, I did just need to tell you guys a little bit about Factor, right? Somewhere between the first warm weekend and realizing short season is getting close, eating well stops feeling optional. Factor is how I stopped letting a busy schedule be my excuse. Fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs, ready in 2 minutes, no planning, no cooking. Okay. It's delicious. I like to eat my Factor meals because they're quick, easy, convenient, and just yummy. Quality ingredients, functional ingredients. They include lean proteins, colorful veggies, whole food ingredients, and healthy fats. No refined sugars. We don't play that. No artificial sweeteners. Yuck. And no refined seed oils. Thank you. Next. These are meals that fit your goals and your schedule. Healthier eating, calorie management, more protein. Okay. They have options that are high protein. That's the one that I most notably do. They have calorie smart Mediterranean diet, GLP-1 support if you're on a GLP-1. I know my friends Donna and Stu are both on their GLP-1 journey, so they have options for them as well. I'm on my high protein journey, but they also have a new Muscle Pro collection. So if you want to go out there and do the Mediterranean diet, you want to do some little GLP support and get that going, and then your man's get him some factory meals too and get him with that Muscle Pro. Like, give me that Muscle Pro, right? Crushing it. Always fresh, never frozen, ready in about 2 minutes. No prep, no stress. So you can easily stick to your goals. Guys, this is it. Give it a try. It takes the guesswork out of having to go to the market and buy a bunch of ingredients and pretend like you're Rachel Ray whipping up a fancy dinner in the kitchen. It's quick. It's easy. You don't even have to think about it. So head to factormeals.com/nofilter50 off and use code nofilter50 off to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easy with Factor. Booyah. 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 Booyah, 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 booyah. Christopher says, Christopher, we haven't seen Christopher in the live chat in forever. Christopher, welcome back, baby. Who is Brian? You cheating on me always. Please. Okay. I do love Brian Entin too, Lori. I do, but I do have a bone to pick with him. But here is your Nancy Benet Ramsey update of the day, okay? For starters, there was a body that was found in Phoenix. Beyonce. That's a Wendy Williams quote. So it's day 37, officially. They found a body over the weekend. The body was found in a body of water, and it was found in Phoenix, Arizona. And no, the body has nothing to do with Nancy Benet Ramsey. And we know this because the sheriff's department gave this exclusive statement to TMZ. They have not been notified of any connection reference that case to the Nancy Guthrie case. So no connections that reference the case to the Nancy Guthrie case, the case of the missing woman. So I don't think they know who the woman is, or maybe they do know who the woman is, but they don't think the woman is Nancy. But for all we know, I don't know, maybe Nancy could be in a freezer somewhere. We really don't know what happened to Nancy. So it appears this is likely not Nancy. So at this point, there's no new information, but it was reported. There was a groundbreaking news report that came in. And I got this groundbreaking news report from the Donna Bowling herself. Okay. The Donna Bowling sent it over. That they are examining, the police are examining a damaged utility box near Nancy Guthrie's home. Okay. So the Pima County Sheriff's Department, they found a box, and the box was open. And the box was about a block away from Nancy's home. So that's where we're at. We're exploring the potential that this open box that we just discovered on day 37, over a month since the disappearance of Nancy Benet Ramsey, we are thinking that maybe this is potentially related to a potential possible internet outage that went out in the middle of the night as they were taking Nancy away. And that's where we're at with this investigation. I know that these are groundbreaking updates. I know that today you are shooketh. Donna says, I can't believe you were talking about Nancy's open box. That sounds naughty, Donna Bowling. Not Nancy with the open box. Okay, so I do have a little I need to stand up on my soapbox because I have a little rant to give you today, because I was very displeased with my secret made-up lover, Brian Entin. I want to, again, preface this by saying that I am still a very huge fan of Brian Entin. I'm hoping he comes around and sees the light and learns to embrace the online creator community, because my DMs are still open. Okay. And I do appreciate his Nancy Guthrie coverage. But I was very displeased with his commentary over the weekend where he was criticizing YouTubers. Okay. I don't know what mainstream media outlets have against us new media, but us YouTubers are going to have a clapback. Okay. I get it. It's unregulated. Online sleuths don't have the same journalistic integrity, blah, 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 blah. I get it, okay? But that doesn't mean that we deserve the shade. When I want some shade, I'll put on my sunglasses. They're very nice and expensive. I have the cute little Prada ones. I have some cute, sporty Versace's. When I want some shade, I'll throw one of those on. But I don't need shade coming from my secret made-up boyfriend, Brian Entin, okay? Now, Brian specifically references Dominic Evans, who claims that he is an innocent man whose name didn't deserve to be thrown out into the mix. And we get it. You remember Dominic? He was one of Tommaso's band members. He did his cute little school picture day photo shoot with the New York Times where he's like, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, I'm innocent. Snap, snap, pat the puss. And I get it. I understand, He says that people camped outside of Dominic's house and, they were there to see if his house would get raided, and that was unfair and it wasn't right. And I kind of disagree here, right? It wasn't cool. And as Countess Luann taught us, don't be all uncool. But I wouldn't say that it was necessarily unfair, okay? So Brian says that there's no evidence to support that Dominic is a suspect. I, again, disagree. The evidence was circumstantial, but at this point in time, this was an ongoing investigation and we had no answers, no suspects, nothing, okay? And Brian himself was camped outside of somebody's home as their home was raided. And at that point, Brian Entin did not have any evidence to indicate that these people took Nancy Benet Ramsey, okay? He got a lead. He followed the lead. He documented it as he was covering the story, which is a lot of what these YouTubers are doing as well. Just because they have a more unorthodox approach or happen to have a few more followers, that, I think we don't need a pissing match. We don't need a fight over turf. We can acknowledge that there is old media, traditional media, and then there is new media, and find a happy middle ground for both to be able to flourish and thrive. Okay? Because like I said, Brian Entin did not have any evidence that those people that were detained that night, that they were necessarily involved. So he still followed the story. He was still boots on the ground. He was right there outside of it. Brian also went to the border, didn't he? Remember, to explore the potential theory that Nancy was taken to Mexico. Well, again, there was no evidence or proof that Nancy was taken to Mexico, yet there was Brian Entin following what is considered a hold on, let me check my handy dandy notebook. A lead. Yes, that is what happens. We get a lead, and that lead generates to a theory, and then that theory gets examined, and we go explore that theory. Wow, we're learning so much today. Just like Donna Kelsey's 9 windows and 6 exterior doors. Okay. So again, my point is not to criticize Brian Entin, but the point I'm trying to make is that there are similarities in generating leads and pursuing a story, especially as there's an ongoing investigation. There was a race against the clock to find Nancy Guthrie because she is elderly. She couldn't be stayed away for too long. And there was interest in the story. There was a lot of coverage of the story. So with Dominic Evans specifically, his name didn't just come out of thin air either, right? It was right after the Nest footage came out. Remember that? Mind you, there were no timestamps. There were no additional details given other than the footage and the request from the public to help identify the man on the porch who was believed to have been the one that may have taken Nancy Guthrie. But now we have an open box and we have a missing Wi-Fi and we have all these mysterious things that never happen in the world. And suddenly they all just happened to happen the night that Nancy Guthrie went missing in this, couple of hour time period. And suddenly the Wi-Fi breaks and the cameras don't catch anything and the street cameras don't record. And, it was just like the perfect storm, right? All technology just completely went out at the same time. I have questions about that, but okay, let's just keep focusing on the YouTubers. But also mind you that we have no evidence that the man on the porch actually took Nancy, right? Because it's an ongoing investigation. We don't have all the details yet. So we have no real evidence that he took Nancy. We just have evidence of this strange man being on the porch, covering up her camera, taking the camera down. That's all we know. So we kind of can presume that she was taken, right? We still don't, we keep calling it a kidnapping despite having no footage of Nancy actually been removed from her home. We do have drops of blood. And when you put circumstantial evidence together, you can kind of put together the theory, right? And that's what happens. That's how you put together theories is you take pieces of information and you connect them together. You put together a theory that generates leads, and then you go and explore that theory and you try to debunk it or you try to prove it. But first, in order to do either of those things, you have to dig into that theory, right? So when there's a lack of concrete evidence, what do? You put together the most logical pieces and try to make the story make sense. Well, we saw a man on the porch. We, could only identify him based off of his eyebrows, based off of his facial hair. A lot of people made jokes that it looks like me. There's obviously his clothing, his body type, all of those things, right? With that basic description in mind, there was a need to connect this perpetrator to Nancy Guthrie, right? Why would this person do this? Why would this person target Nancy? In most cases, with crimes like this, you can connect them to those around the subject. Why would you take the woman? Sure, it could have been happenstance, but it's more likely that this could have been somebody that had preyed on her, somebody that knew her, somebody that targeted somebody in her family. Or one of the theories that I've also presented is that this was connected to somebody in the family, right? All possible theories that we have yet to officially debunk with evidence, right? So in this case, this was directly linked back, because you want to make sure you link to those around the subject being Nancy Guthrie. And this was linked back to the last people known to have spent time with Nancy, and that was her daughter, Annie, and her son-in-law, Annie's husband, Tommaso. Also, mind you, at this time, their car was being held in evidence. Annie and Tommaso's home was being searched over and over and over. We saw them removing what appeared to be evidence, right? So these are all the little details that we're taking out here, right? The neighbors were being questioned multiple times. We know that they were asked about a phone. Like there were just a few things that were kind of like really implicating Annie and Tommaso, or at least linking to them, which presumably makes sense because they were the last ones known to have spent time with Nancy and drop her off at home before they conveniently sent her in through the garage, right? So tracing Nancy's steps that night led to there being some potential speculation about involvement of Annie and Tommaso. Now, at this point, especially when you go into what potential motives could have been, was this money related? These were all theories that people were playing with, right? So at this point, there was no concrete evidence of their involvement. But as the case was developing, it was a logical conclusion that there may be some involvement, right? We didn't know for certain, but there were questions that were being asked based off of what you do in a situation like this, which is lead to the people around them, the last known to have seen them, all of that sort of stuff, right? Was there this potentially, was there money motivation behind it? Annie's a poet. Tommaso's a teacher and a poet that just bought a brand new home last year. Like that doesn't really make sense. Were they potentially, dependent on Nancy Guthrie's money? Was Nancy helping them? Was she about to cut the money off? All logical questions that we were asking at that time as we explored these theories, right? Well, if they were to execute a plan, if we're going to explore that theory, again, not incriminating anybody, not trying to defame anybody, I'm just walking through the train of thought that we were all in at that point, right? As we were questioning things and following leads and generating tips to explore potential theories, they would need help, right? So then you go to the next pool of people around them following this same theory. Oh, wow. Tommaso happens to have two band members that potentially fit the body type of the man on the porch. And oh, wow, they also happen to have facial hair. Interesting. They're pretty close to Annie and Tommaso, relatively speaking. So at this time, there was no report. There was also a report of a criminal record, right? That was circulating online. I believe JLR Investigates was circulating potential records of Dominic and his rap sheet of someone named Dominic that lived in Pima County. And so this was being linked to Dominic Evans. So all this information, logically, when you put it together, like this does kind of check out with this theory that was being explored. Now, we also had investigators that had not only asked for the public's help to identify this guy, but also made no effort to combat the speculation. Because understandably, when they ask the public for help, they just mean, do you recognize this person? They didn't ask the public to investigate any potential leads, but they said, hey, give us any info that you have. Did you see a neighbor? Do his eyebrows look familiar? Do these eyes look familiar? Do you know somebody that has that backpack? Do you know somebody that has that outfit? All of these things. Obviously, the internet went kind of wild. They dug into a lot more speculation and investigation. Understandably, this was a heavily covered case. It was heavily reported on. There was a lot of interest in it. And when a case is still open, I understand you can't give too much away, but they did absolutely nothing to combat any of the speculation. You can give something at least, knowing that there's this appetite from the public. You can diffuse it in some way, right? By giving some information, right? When you tell the public that you need their help and then you give them nothing, you open the door for even more speculation and more wild, crazy theories. And when you then don't follow up with any new information, the speculation blows up even further. So don't engage the public and then scold the public in that same breath, right? Because you're doing absolutely nothing to counter any of the conjecture that's going around online. And some press conferences would have been helpful at that time. We didn't get any of those. Would have done wonders at that time. Thank you for the leads. We're looking into that. Or thank you for that tip. We checked that out and it doesn't believe that there's any connection at this time. Or we understand that people, were speculating Dominic Evans. At this time, we checked out his alibi and it does not appear that he is a person of interest. But we're still investigating. All of those statements would have been extremely helpful. Just a little bit of direction would have been helpful. The public was so engaged. And rather than diffusing this or igniting this engagement in some way, like, I don't know, doing a search party, I mean, a lot of different options, right? Then they're just getting mad at the public and they're getting mad at YouTubers. Like, are you kidding me? The YouTubers were the ones that were really keeping this story alive. The YouTubers were generating more leads than we saw the actual Pima County Sheriff's Department. So then things started getting weird, right? There were absolutely no press conferences. The interviews with Nanos, they were starting to get contradictory. He was making one statement here and something else there. He was preemptively saying that this could take years to solve. When do you preemptively let people know that this could possibly take years? That's fucking weird. We're hearing reports of him gatekeeping evidence from the FBI. People were being detained and they seemingly had no evidence or connection to the alleged kidnapping, almost as if they were intentionally trying to throw people off the scent of what was really going on. It got weird. And then you get pissed at the public for asking too many questions. I do feel badly for Dominic, right? But with an open investigation, and we know when there's an open investigation, everybody is a subject unless there's concrete evidence to dispute that, right? And with time being of the essence, yes, sometimes you will get things wrong. But there was info that logically was directly linking Dominic to Tommaso and to Nancy, right? Those were logical conclusions that were being made, especially when you saw people, they were doing the AI facial scans that were going around on X. So there were real reasons as to why people were thinking Dominic, who at this point, we can confidently say is likely not involved at all, even though we don't really have any evidence or clear statements of that, because again, we've gotten nothing from the Sheriff's Department or the FBI. And I know it's an active investigation. I know you can't give everything, but you can give some things. Look at the Tyler Robinson case, right? With the assassination of Charlie Kirk, they were giving some things out, not everything, because obviously they have to prepare for the trial that'll come at some point, a criminal trial, once they find out who did it. But there was absolutely nothing. So at that point in time, there were a lot of theories and possibilities. And in order to debunk them, you first have to examine them. And then once you've examined them, then you can be like, okay, this did not materialize to anything, right? So yeah, we do speculation and facts here. Well, we clarify what's speculation and what's facts. We're very clear about that, right? The public should be praised for wanting to help. The public should at least be engaged, right? If anything, this is a case study. We've seen the public be able to help solve these crimes before. I mean, hello, Netflix had a whole documentary, Don't F with Cats, where the internet sleuths who were at that time, looked at and scoffed at, helped find that guy. So the public can absolutely be a tool of utilization. But when you go back to the source of the lead of this investigation, Sheriff Nanos, didn't seem he wanted the help from the public, didn't seem he wanted the help from the FBI, didn't seem he wanted the help from the United Cajun Navy, didn't seem he wanted the help from anyone. Again, fucking weird. So rather than getting mad at YouTubers, why don't we hold this bozo sheriff accountable? Why don't we put a little more eyes on him? Because it's getting fucking weird, okay? It's weird. But I do still love Brian Entin at this point. He still follows me on X. Well, let's make sure that stays that way. I do still appreciate him even when I disagree with him. And in this case, I think that his heat should be more fixated on Sheriff Nanos than on criticizing YouTubers. Okay. I think it's where we are. Let's talk more about Nanos than the YouTubers, because if anything, the big thread is yes, Gabby Petito. Another great case. The public helped find her. Hello. when you utilize the public in a way that's helpful and beneficial to the case, then you end up getting more done. But in this case, that's not it. I think he is focused on nanos, but just can't say much. Fair. But like, then don't turn your target onto the YouTubers. Listen, some of them are going to be clickbaity. Some of them are going to be, you know, annoying and just out to clout chase, right? We've seen plenty of that. But and Savannah asked for help as well. Yes, Savannah did ask the public for help. She said, keep my mother's name out there, keep the tips coming into the FBI. Like, she kept pushing for that. But again, there's something about the way Nanos is writing this case that just is weird. It's weird. Brian does stick around when others have moved on. Yeah, and listen, I have a lot of appreciation. There's no beef with me and Brian. But I am going to stick up for the YouTubers. Because even when you're talking about the shady ones, you're still throwing me into that category too. And I'm going to stand 10 toes down with my chest puffed out. Titties out. Brian has held the sheriff accountable more than anyone else in the mainstream media. I agree with that. He brought this up in relation to the TikTok psychic defamation case that just happened. I agree with that too. I covered that as well. Again, don't start beef with me and Brian, okay? Fight you too. Don't be starting beef between me and Brian Entin, because I like Brian Entin. But I did not appreciate the YouTubers becoming a target. Although there are some bad YouTubers out there, I'm going to stand up for the good ones. All right. Let's see. What's that? Is that all? I think that's all I have on Nancy. The body's not hers. The box is now open, and maybe it's Wi-Fi. And maybe the Wi-Fi got cut. Who knows? Nobody knows. Talked about the riveting case of Donna Kelsey's renovation. Blake and Ryan. Oh, everybody's favorite couple. Everybody's, Hollywood's duo. Blake and Ryan. They were packing on the PDA. Here, I'll show you the Page 6 article with these groundbreaking updates. Oh my God. I mean, if this doesn't say love wins, I don't know what does. Look at that. Love wins. I mean, my goodness. Barf. These are photos from Getty Images. Credit to Getty Images on Page 6. Look at that. Oh, they're so in love. And wait, you guys, can't you see his wedding ring? Like, if this doesn't scream LUVE, love, like, are these real photos? Did we know that these paparazzi photos were going to be here? I mean, he's clearly showing off the ring. He's like, look at my ring. I'm married. Don't forget we're married. I love her. I love her. We love each other. Look at that. We're hugging. We're holding hands. Oh, look at, oh, she's so cute. Oh, so cute. How can we miss such a power couple like this? This one's from the Associated Press. She has her little teddy bear. Oh, so cute. I mean, it's kind of gross. Listen, I've been gross too with PDA sometimes. It feels a little aggressive. And it made me question, like, have we ever really seen them do this like heavy PDA before? Or is this like something new for them? Right. It's just interesting because it did feel a bit out of character. So I did look into it and I was like, I'm not used to them being so lovey-dovey all over themselves. Right. Well, I did look into it. And it appears that they are pretty lovey-dovey PDA-y, right? Last time that they did a stunt like this, whether this is a stunt or not, it was at another Wrexham game last year, right? So it was about a year ago. I think it was April of 2025. There was a Wrexham game, and they were also making out at the Wrexham game there. Granted, that was right after the Time 100 gala. So maybe it's a publicity stunt. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I feel like I kind of have Blake fatigue at this point. But being that last time she made out with Ryan at a Wrexham game was right after the debacle of the Time 100 gala, me thinking that, is there something else about to drop? Is there a deflection that we're trying to pull here? Like, what is the point? It's got me thinking that I don't know how I feel about this. It feels like a publicity stunt. But also they could just be one of those gross couples. But also, I find her so boring at this point, and I honestly cannot wait for this damn trial to be over with. We have trial coming up in May. It cannot come any sooner. Please, baby Jesus, let's get this trial through so we can move on with our lives, you know? What do you guys think? Staged or not staged? This is going to be our Strollergate 2.0. Remember that? What a time that was. If you weren't here for Strollergate, you were missing out. Okay. I think that's all I have for you guys. That's all the Nancy stuff. That's the Donna stuff. That's the Blake and Ryan stuff. I did have a Scream marathon over the weekend, which was like, oh, gasp. I had a Scream marathon. Well, 1 through 4. I've seen 1 a million times, but I went back. I watched 1 recently, and then I just watched 2 over the weekend, and 3 over the weekend, and 4 over the weekend. And I have to say, I didn't like 4 as much as I thought I did. I don't like the weird, like smudgy filter that 4 has, and then I don't like Nev, I don't like Nev's character. I don't like Sydney in Scream 4. Like, I don't like her bangs. Courtney Cox's character Gail was a little meh. Scream 3 was good. Scream 2 was fine. I think 1 and 3. Scream 4 had my favorite ghost face reveal. 4 and 3, well, actually 1. 1 is just the prime, right? The superior, the best slasher movie of all time. Because we just watched Scream 7, which is great. We love Scream 7. Hate the ghost face in Scream 7, but love Scream 7. Yeah. And I also recently watched 6. So I've seen all of them except for 5. I think I have to watch 5 maybe today, tonight, tomorrow. And we'll see. Love you, Zach. You were on a roll today. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Ashley O. On a roll. Hey, I'm a hoe. Hey, I'm a hoe. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Supposedly, Gen Z is trying to cancel Scream. You know what? Gen Z can suck on a fart, okay? I'm tired of Gen Z and their bullshit. Stop ruining millennials, okay? The YouTube pop-up. These YouTube pop-ups are there a lot of YouTube pop-ups? Well, if they are, listen, I will say you can sign up for Supercast. There's no ads on Supercast at all. But maybe I will take note of that. Are there a lot of ads? I will take note of that and maybe see if there's something we can do about that. But that said, Scream. What a time. What a time to be alive. Gen Z needs to stop trying to cancel Scream. Okay. Scream is one of the best things that we had. I mean, Gen Z is going to, oh my God, they're going to lose it when Scary Movie comes out. Have you guys seen the trailer for Scary Movie? There's a new Scary Movie coming out, I think in May. Anna Faris is back. Regina's back. Like, it's great. Like, I'm very, very excited about this new one. I feel like it might be corny and cheesy and weird, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. So many pop-up ads during the show. During this show specifically or in general? I can't wait for Scary Movie. I think it's going to be great. I think there's a setting that I can update so that there are less pop-up ads. If there are a lot coming, I think I can filter it so that it gets more. But yeah, that's where we at. What a time. What a weekend. All right. I love you guys. I hope you have a great Monday. Oh, let me do a couple of quick shout outs on Apple Podcasts because I want you to leave more podcast reviews for the podcast on Apple because we love them. Love, love, love. Haters are going to hate, but I just love, love, love. Rana DP. Oh, Rana, not with the DP. Rana. Is Rana doing the DP? Rana says, best podcast, 5 stars. I just found you on Facebook and I love listening to your podcast. You are my new favorite heart emoji. Rana, you probably don't know what DP means, and I apologize for making that joke. But thank you, Rana. Get it, Rana. Get it, girl. Thank you for the love. J Hill 205 says, where have you been all my life? 5 stars. I am so glad Zack showed up in my feed. Never knew I needed the laughter he provides, yet so incredibly informative. Thank you, J Hill 205. Heath 1223 says, love him, 5 stars. I came across Zack 2 weeks into the Nancy Guthrie story. Oh my gosh, he was doing skits about what all of us were thinking but not saying. LOL. His skits made me laugh until my stomach hurt. He was not making fun of the fact that she was missing. He was making fun of the way the car, I think you meant case, but you said car. The way the case is being handled. I was looked for sure. This world is so heavy, and it was really nice to see how he flipped the script and turned the news that is so stressful into laughter. He's one of the couple podcasts I watch now for news. I look forward to his show every day. Oh, Heath, are you watching this right now? Shout out to Heath. Thank you, Heath. I appreciate that. Carolina Girl with the U. Carolina Girl 68 says, love Zack, 5 stars. My new favorite show. Much love from NC. I'm assuming that's North Carolina. That's why you're called the Carolina Girl. From NC. I love the humor mixed in. It's desperately needed these days. Thank you. And then Katie Ray 22 says, thank goodness for you. 5 stars. Thank you so much. You're so funny and yet so truthful. You guys, that's so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You can absolutely continue to leave nice Apple Podcast reviews. Keep us high in the charts. It's free. You don't have to pay for anything. So go give some love in the club over on Apple. You can also watch on Spotify. You can leave a comment there. You guys are very big on the comments on Spotify, which I love and appreciate as well. I'll dip in there and respond and like and do all the things. So yeah. All right, guys. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your Monday. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Tomorrow is only a day away. All right, Jeff, for now. Love you, mean it. Bye. Give me a follow at Zack Peter. Follow the podcast at No Filter with Zack on Instagram. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Ciao.